So someone asked us, how do you choose which thing to work on when you have multiple things you want to work on at the same time?
Yeah, I really love this question because when it comes to high performers, especially people who want to excel in multiple areas, it's very easy to kind of water yourself down and try to take on too much. But the name of the game here is focus. And that's what we're going to dive into today. Figuring out what that one thing can look like for you that will help you achieve results in multiple areas of your life.
It's time to redefine leadership. Welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. Our channel is all about empowering entrepreneurs like you to achieve the next level of success in business and life. We believe that you can create a massive impact in the world without compromising your personal life or family time to do so.
We're committed to providing you with actionable tips and strategies weekly to make that possible. So if you're ready to become a modern leader and make a lasting difference in the world, consider subscribing. Turn on notifications and dive into our community. We want to thank you for being here because the world needs your leadership now more than ever. Let's go.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Modern Leadership, where we help people create a business they love, connect deeper with their family, and get into the best shape of their lives. Now, you might think in order to do that, you might have to be focusing on a million things. And the truth is when we found out what we're going to share with you here today, it actually made it easier for us to be able to excel in multiple areas because it's not about doing more, it's actually about doing less. So let us explain. We want to break down 3 very important points to make sure you have all of these. And that is the mindset, how we think about things. Second is the tactics, what to actually do. And the third is accountability, how to get yourself to actually do it. So let's jump into the mindset.
So mindset shift number 1 is I can't do it all. And the more I take on, the more I water down what I'm actually doing. So it's not possible for us to do it all. The second mindset shift is some things matter more than others. There are so many things in our lives that we could be doing. And most of the time we're just busy doing things that really don't move the needle forward.
Which leads us perfectly into the tactics. Because if you realize that you can't do it all at an excellent level, but you have to pick the things that matter more than others, how do you do that? That's where we dive into what we learned in the one thing. Now, this is known as the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle. Now, what this says is that 20% of the action that you put in produces 80% of the results. And 80% of the things you're doing are producing just the leftover 20% of the results. This is what Teresa was saying when she says, some things matter more than others. So when we think about things that move the needle the most, what are those things? Now, if you're in business, you may find yourself in Canva, designing your website, thinking about launching a podcast. All of these things move the needle, but only a little bit. But actually reaching out to people, having conversations, doing sales calls, asking people if they'd like you to help them. Those are the things that move the needle the most. So how can we do more of what matters and less of what doesn't? Now, when you think about family connection, the 80% activities is just driving kids to and from places, maybe being present while you're making food, you just being around in the vicinity, maybe even watching TV together. But when you think about those 20% activities that move the needle the most, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's playing board games, asking them questions, going out on walks with them, doing the things that maybe don't take a whole ton of time, but they move the needle forward the most. Now, no matter what area of your life you're thinking about, there are some activities that matter more than others. So thinking, what are the things that move the needle the most? Those are the things for you to lean into so you can get the most results in the fastest time. Now, this leads us to part number 3, which is the accountability. We can learn so much from being on YouTube, being on social media, but if we don't act on it, it's never going to create anything new in our life. And that's why we have to ask ourselves, how can we set ourselves up for success to take action on the things that we really need to take action on? Because the truth is, those 20% activities, they're usually a little more difficult. We feel a little fear doing them from time to time. And so your brain is going to try to convince you to do the others. That's why we have to lean into what's called accountability, letting other people know what you want to be able to do and why you want to be able to do it. Sharing your commitment with someone else, a team, a mentor, a coach, will help you show up on an entirely different level. I don't know, there's just something about it where it's like, oh, they're going to be checking in on me. When in reality, they don't. But just the mere thought of it will get you to show up and to take those actions. And then by the time you take those actions and you start getting results, that's all you need. Because once you start getting results, you're like, how many more times can I do that thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking for a way to not only identify your 20%, but also help you get out of your own way when it comes to the 80% that are trying to call out to you, definitely subscribe to this channel. And if you can make it to one of our Saturday free workshops where we dive deeper into this process, definitely join us. Thank you for being the family-driven entrepreneur that the world needs now more than ever. Don't forget to focus on what really matters this week and go out there and crush it, team.